Ellavarkum namaskaram. Namaskaram. We are extremely glad that we have Payal Kapadia amongst us today. We have the Payal Kapadia. You know, you're a phenomenon now, and also, also a beacon for all female filmmakers out here, actually. So when I first met you, we started off chatting about that, in fact. So you have been a devout student of filmmaking. You have been a passionate practitioner of filmmaking. You have done short films, you've done documentaries, you've done movies, you have received accolades. And you present a very unique lens through which we get to view the world. But after the light, we started viewing you through a different lens. The world started viewing you through a different lens. How does Payal Kapadia take that and deal with that?
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you all for coming today. It's too good, so many people. Yeah, it's really nice, thank you. Actually, my very first film that I made as a student was selected for IDSFFK. Oh, there's my professor. So it was like the first festival that I sort of knew about. So it's really nice that our film, which is a first feature film, is also showing here. And it is actually the last day tomorrow of the release of the film. So it's like a nice way that we end it here.
Payal, we all know that the protagonists in your movie have definitely got a connect with Malayalis, with Kerala. So we, as Keralites, and also as the state which probably contributes a lion's share of NRIs, of non-resident Indians, across the globe, for us, all we imagine as light is also a reflection of the lives of many of our own women who are working away from home. So each one of us here could relate to it as an ode to Malayalis, to Keralites, to women as well. So how did that connect, shape up in your head? Why did you choose us?
It's, I hope that you all did feel that way, and that I tried to do the justice to those roles. And it was also because I had very, very good actors to help me with that. Divya is here. Please, let's give her a round of applause. It's anything you do, if you find actors like them, it makes your job as a director too easy. So it was really an honor to work with them, and it was them who really brought those characters to seem like really truthful and honestly done. And I hold all that to them because the film was like a collaboration. So my knowledge is limited. So everybody's knowledge was put together to work on the script, to rework the dialogues. My dialogue writers are here, Naseem and Robin. Can we give them a round of applause? 2 years they worked rewriting whatever I had written. They didn't just rewrite. They made the dialogues be like truthful, believable. We did a lot of research also. We met so many women, and Naseem especially. We put those experiences into the film. Of course, we could not put everything. For that, we will have to make more films. But many things we got out of that. So really, it was an effort that all of us did together to try our best to represent what we thought we saw also.
Great. Shaji, would you want to?
Payal is often introduced as the feature filmmaker. Suddenly made a feature filmmaker. Okay, now it's. We already mentioned that. As she was saying, actually she came to IDSFK. Apart from IFFK, the Academy is holding another festival, which is called International Documentary and Short Film Festival, which is a less glamorous poor cousin of IFFK. but I think more, energetic and youthful festival, which is held in the same theatre complex every year in July. So I always think that's a better festival than IFFK. So, and after 3 outings at IDSFK, now she has made a full-length feature film, and she's here. Okay, so that's it. So when I could watch All We Imagine as Light Toys both times in theaters. So first thing came to my mind was at the first edition of Kochi Biennale in 2012, there was a video show was playing on in the Aspinwall. The blood of the in search of the vanished blood. It was done by Nalini Malani, one of the great artists of India, who also happens to be the mom of Payal. So that's one thing. Then later on, she made a short doc on this work, and also I find that the title of the film has been taken from a title of her mother's painting done in 2017. Yeah, that also stolen from her. So, yeah. So, can you just tell how it was the beginning of everything? How you were initiated. Of course, you are a child. Living in the workplace of an artist. So, how it was initiated into this?
It was a real privilege, actually. And when you are a child, you don't think that. You don't realize that you have that privilege. You want to just protest, no? So that is what I was doing. But I think my mother would always take me to watch movies. Like in Mumbai that time, we used to have a lot of documentary films, especially in spaces like Films Division. We used to go to watch Anand Patwardhan's films and many other directors at this time. We used to go to see, and she used to take me along, even if I maybe didn't understand everything, but that stays in the mind, I think. And even after that, we would go we would have second-hand bookshops where she will take me to, because you will get the art books for low price, and it used to be there I think at Churchgate or something on the street, and we will go there, and then you can return the book also. So we would keep going back like that. So I think all those things, I that time didn't realize how important it was, because it was like every day, normal life, but it's actually left such a deep impression on my mind. And I think what initiated me to do cinema was that my mother also started doing video art in the 90s, I think. And at that time, I was again a kid only, and she had an editor, Nandini Bedi, who's also from FTI. And they will be sitting in our house with the TV and playing the VHS tapes to write the logs of those things, because I think they didn't have big budget to sit in a studio all day. So they wanted to put the logs down and then they will go edit the movie. So they were doing that. So I was looking at them. I was like, what are these two ladies up to? What are they doing? So my mother explained to me, this is editing. Then I was fascinated. I was like, it seems like some amazing code. And she explained that it's nothing I'm doing special. All movies are edited. So then I started watching movies, realizing there is a shot, there is a counter shot, all this kind of thing. I felt like somebody had revealed some secret to me that no one knows. I was very young, guys. So then I got...
You still are.
Then I got interested in editing. So I was very keen to become an editor somehow. But I didn't get admission to FTI for editing. Maybe it worked out for the best.
Finally, when looking back. So, after this, you made first shorts and documentaries and then fiction, full fiction. Even then, it's called a feature fiction.
Yeah.
You bring elements of non-fictionality into it, and there is always an intersection of non-documentary, I mean within quotes, documentary and the thin line where we don't know blurring these days. So how do you take it? Like, you want to, is it a conscious decision, like, yes, I want to break that mold, or, this?
Because we are all cinephiles here, I will give a very cinephile answer. Actually, it started when I was a student, and we had to write a paper on what is non-fiction. And my professor, who is here, was in charge of that, so you have to blame him for it. Sometimes, you get some assignment and you think it's just an assignment, but actually, when you give in to that assignment, you realize that there is so much to learn from cinema itself. So the assignment was about what is non-fiction. We had to write an essay from the beginning of what is not. I was writing it, I was reading lots of people had written. There is no difference really. And even the starting of documentary film, we all know, it started with a fiction. So that kind of triggered something in me, and I got very curious about these boundaries that are actually so porous. After that also, whatever assignments I could choose, I was always trying to do this comparison between filmmakers who mix fiction and non-fiction. So for my director's study, I did Jose Luis Gurin. I don't know if you all are familiar with his work. He's not a very famous director, but but as cinephiles, I think that we will all learn a lot from him. And he has done 2 movies. One is an archival non-fiction film called Trains of Shadows, and a film called In the City of Sylvia. They are made 10 years apart. But if you watch those 2 films, one is non-fiction, one is fiction. You will be completely baffled at how he is mixing actually everything. And he has also done a wonderful thing called Correspondence with Jonas Mikas, letters that he wrote in video. And I was very, I don't know, I think as a student you get so excited when you think that you have discovered something for yourself. And that's how I felt about it. And so I went deeper and deeper into these thoughts about fiction and non-fiction, and discovered the work of Miguel Gomez, whose film is here. If you all haven't seen it, it's also a mix.
Yeah, it's also a mix.
And of course, Jia Janke, whose film is also here, Caught by the Tides. 2 filmmakers who have consistently mixed the forms. So for me, I felt very free that why make these distinctions? It's for you guys who are curating festivals. But for us, it's cinema. So I wanted to carry that forward as well.
You were mentioning that writing letters. I just had this in mind, stuck in mind. Because the night of knowing nothing was a letter. Sorry, the night of knowing nothing was a letter,
Yeah, I like this format.
Yeah. And then again, also, and in one of the earlier shorts also there is a, ends with a letter, a boy, that writing letters. So is this, kind of, I remember that. So is it kind of a fixation, or, it's just recurring kind of theme?
I think that letters, I'm a bit of a romantic, no? So letters have a kind of a romance to them.
All well, that's technology. Because
Yeah, and I think now the letter writing format has changed because we don't write letters anymore.
Yeah.
Come on, emails are not as romantic. But I find like WhatsApp messages, voice messages has replaced that. So I tried to use it in this film also, and I think I will try to do that. Self-expression through words and image is very exciting form, I think, these days. How people are obsessed with selfies and, making reels. That is such a strong form of self-expression, and I really feel that as filmmakers we have to acknowledge that as well.
the doctor is also writing not a letter, but a
See, I know
poem.
Malayalis are also very romantic, so
I'm not contesting that, but I'm just so. And coming to this, all we imagine. I don't want this to be a discussion about that film alone.
No spoilers.
But still, I thought is the core at the heart of the film is it's women, the relationship, the friendship, whatever the equation, the relationship between the 3 women, and how do they, manage the life in a unknown city. And as all of us know, maybe, all of us are aware, like, women's lives are defined by the men in their lives, whether by absence or by presence. Even in their absence, the men can be troublesome to the existence of women, in the lives of women. So, that was coming again, because in the second watch also, these thoughts were, coming more and more to me.
Yeah.
So, can
It's
you just
exactly that.
elaborate?
I was thinking a lot about this actually. We in our society, a lot of times it's very difficult that we don't want the men also in our lives, but they don't go anywhere. They're there. And this idea I actually had, it's a recurring thing in, I think, a lot of my short films also. In the film I made called And What Is the Summer Saying, and even in Afternoon Clouds, the lingering ghosts of the men that women don't want was a theme that I think about a lot, because I come from a family of a lot of women who have been single but still tied down by this absent man, and it's a pity. It shouldn't be the case, and that is what my frustration is. And actually, it came from my grandmother, who was losing her memory as she grew very old. She was in her 90s. So I told her, to remember, why don't you write a diary? That will help to remember. So she was writing everyday diary. And in that, she's telling, I was reading, she would let me read it. I was not doing anything illegal. And she had written that this husband is coming and I can smell the tobacco. This husband of hers died when she was 55. At this point, she was 98. So she had been without him for how many years? And she didn't even like him very much. I know that for sure. And at this age, he's coming back and she's getting frustrated. So that is something I was thinking a lot about. Like, she's lived as a single woman for 40 years. And still it is this gnawing husband who is popping up in her final days. And I could see she was agitated. So I put that in the film. It starts with this lady who is talking about that. So that was something that I feel very confused and bothered by. So that's why I made the film about these gnawing, clawing men in these women's lives. Maybe next film will not have that, because maybe I've finished with it. For me at least.
While talking about that, do you think women tell women's stories better than men do? It's a very open-ended question, because we all know that at least in Malayalam film and in several other genres, there are men who put forth women's stories in a very sensitive fashion as well. I know it is not fair to actually sort of keep them in watertight compartments, but still, talking about the opportunities of female filmmakers in various, fields of filmmaking. Do you think?
I have two thoughts on this. Firstly, I think that all human beings have male and female inside them, and the gaze really depends on your politics and who you are as a person. Sometimes even women make films that you feel a little problematic, and sometimes men make films that you connect to. Yeah. So we must be, thinking about that as individuals and human beings all the time. But I also believe that women filmmakers have been extremely underrepresented. So as soon as you start, and like giving grants, giving a fairer opportunity, which has been so far denied, then we will see representation of different voices, which we've not seen. So we don't even know such few filmmakers are there, and not just women, filmmakers of marginalized castes who have not so far had access or been denied that. We must have, our country is so diverse, we must represent that in cinema also, no?
So you think this sector has to be more organized?
I think that we need to have in our selection committees diversity, because as soon as you have that, it will have, that will be shown in our festivals, and all different aspects.
Incidentally, Divya Prabha was in the selection committee.
Yes. Yeah, we should tell Divya Prabha was in the selection committee this year of the Malayalam movies.
So coming again, all this, we are again coming back to Aviel, like, this women thing. Yeah, women thing again. So it's like, that all those, they travel in the second part.
Yes.
And, there is a clear division, the live city is absent in the second part, obviously, for obvious reasons also. But you yourself is a Mumbai, so born and brought up in Mumbai. So
I was not brought up in Mumbai.
brought up in, okay, fine.
I was going here and there.
Okay, fine. So, like, Mumbai well,
Yes.
and you digged out your story from Mumbai, and so how was it, like, how you conceived like this city centric, especially the beginning part is like all very mesmerizing things. So that city is there, that city is totally absent in towards the end, and it goes to a different level.
Yeah.
So was it conceived like that, or and also I want to ask you whether you okay, I'll come to the next time. To the next question.
Yeah, actually, I was not what I wanted to do. Like, I wish I was the kind of person who had like a clear vision right in the beginning, but it's never like that, at least not for me. I admire filmmakers who have that. But how I wanted to work was with time, and to have two different feelings of time, where the first time is very many days and the second time is over one long day. Because cinema is one medium where we have that opportunity to play with time. Anyway, time is so subjective, no? I know some of you are already getting bored, must be thinking, why am I stuck in the middle row? It's taking forever. And that is your subjective feeling of time. Or if you are meeting somebody, who, like, you are interested in a romantic way, then that time goes very fast. And we can do that in cinema. So I wanted to work with the two different temporal feelings. It was just some theoretical thing in my head.
That's what Einstein said, in fact, So that's heavy.
So to execute that was, I was thinking how to do it. So like the city part, I was thinking a lot that we have no time for ourselves when you live in a city like Mumbai. It is 8-9 hour shift, especially if you are working in such a hard job as a nurse. You are working so long hours. You take maybe 2 hours to travel, and barely you will get time to make your food and go to sleep. So we don't have time for ourselves in Mumbai. There is a very capitalistic idea of time, or no time really. And we are made to believe that that is a good thing, because Mumbai is a city where, you have no time, everybody is going fast, and that is revered as something so great. Well, we should be thinking about that also, which is to revere this. I'm not very for that.
Yeah, concept of
people deserve to have free time, and
on time.
and yeah, own time. And Mumbai is a city that doesn't allow it. Like, if you go for a city like Kolkata, for example, it's a very different feeling of time. So, and I think Mumbai used to be a little different, but now it's become more and more like this. So it was something that I was feeling a bit critical about while making this film. So I wanted the characters to go on a break, just even if it's one day, but it's not for something good. It's for a friend who's lost her home. So there is a tinge of sadness there as well, but at least it is that time where they can just be together alone. So I wanted to have that. So that was the reason. And then I chose Ratnagiri because I wanted to kind of geographically form the connection between Ratnagiri, Konkan area and Mumbai. As I don't know if you all are aware of Ratnagiri as a region. It is between here and Mumbai. And if you take the train here, you will pass through Ratnagiri. And there is a long history of people coming from the Konkan region to work in Mumbai through the 20th century in the cotton mills. So I wanted to, and that is the area that is getting gentrified very majorly in Mumbai. So I wanted to just draw that connection between this space and that.
Talking about talking about time and space, there was this interesting thought that it came to me. Where do you find watermelons, mangoes, monsoons, summer, night, light?
In Kerala.
No, in Payal Kapadia's filmography. All your films have got these terms, these words in their titles, right?
It's becoming a problem, these long titles, because everybody complains that they don't remember it doesn't fit on the poster. Now I have to think of some cool short titles.
But does this actually reflect, you as a human being, how you revere nature, or how you seamlessly blend human lives into, the wonders of nature, or probably how helpless we are in the arms of nature and happenings around us? Because
I think, I'll be honest.
Just randomly happened.
No, it's not that. I think that all these things are very much part of our daily life. And that is why it's in my films. Like, I made a whole film on a pressure cooker, a rice cooker. So for me, very daily things are what excite me. And I think that our lives are... actually, that is something also I learned from my mother. Because, she used to say, you don't need to look for inspiration. Everything is inspiring. You will see even in, just the way this flower is today, or this plant is, or how we meet somebody outside and we have a chaya with them and we will have some discussion, and that can be a film. I was just thinking yesterday, I was walking through the area outside Tagore, and somebody should make a film about this festival, about how you meet different people, and it could be such a nice film and give such a wonderful sense of the zeitgeist and about young people today here and all the contradictions that exist in our society. Everything can be a film. I wish I had listened to my professor at that time. Oh, he's not here anymore.
And you write all your films, right?
Yeah, with help.
With help. So, what is the process like? You write your own draft and then, go on revising or, take
own
help.
draft?
Yeah.
I write 25, 30 drafts. So that is something that I really enjoy to write. It's my favorite, one of the most favorite things to do. So, and we all know that writing means rewriting. So I spent a lot of time writing, and I have very taskmaster producers like Ronobir, who's my DOP and producer. He will say, this is not good, again. So, and even when I was a student in FTI, for some reason I was the one student who will always get redo. So they will be like, what have you done? You didn't understand. You do it again. So, but I think all that, it helps only. It's okay.
Say something about that music track. We know, but still.
Okay,
that Ethiopian musician, she died 1 year back.
She died last year. She was 93, 94. So I don't know if everybody's seen the movie, but in it...
OST is also out, no?
Yeah, OST is out. You all listen to the OST. So we have used one music from this Ethiopian nun. She passed away last year. She was in her 90s. And actually, I didn't know her music. My editor, Clément, introduced me to her music. And it was just amazing because it has a kind of deceptive simplicity, but such a flair that it made me feel very light, kind of it has a romantic feel to it. So I felt that I will use it as a leitmotif for the love story in the film. So whenever the couple comes, you will hear her music there. And if you're like this track, she's got lot of music that she left behind, and each track is more inspiring, and the names of the tracks again are very simple things like why are you crying, that is like, or something like this. Yeah, afternoon, like it'll be like this. So I don't know, I felt some connection to it. And the other music is by a musician from Kolkata, Topshe, who's also music I find very melancholic and I connect to it a lot. And Topshe fans around here? So yeah, so do check out his music also. I wanted to use some like 80s synthy feeling. And there's no logic, I just loved it. So I went with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they ask all these deep questions as film because you're like, I just felt like it. But you have to think of some intellectual answer.
At the actors, coming to the actors, how do you, I mean, treat them or deal with them? Like,
Divya has to answer that question.
No. We want your version so that Divya can counter it. So, like, you.
He's causing a rift between us.
Yeah. So, like, are you, I know a little bit, but still I'm asking for the purpose of, you do workshops or, do lots of rehearsals, that kind of thing, or you allow your actors to, have lots of inputs in your already structured format? What, I mean.
Actually, we worked a lot together, Divya, Kani and Chaya also. With Divya and Kani, we stayed together and we were doing like workshops every day for almost 3 weeks, something like this, on and off with some breaks, and with Ridu also. And like for me, because of the language thing also is one thing, like how do you direct in a language you don't speak? So the rehearsals were for me also, to internalize the dialogues, to understand what gesture is working with which dialogue. All these things, we all work together on that. We will do many scenes which are not even in the script. Like, let's do one scene of Anu and Prabha somewhere else, or Anu and Shia somewhere else, or what will happen when they all go to Parvati's house. And that scene, we simply did it, and it worked out so well that we put it in the film. That's why I think of it as a really collaborative process, because sometimes Divya will tell me, and Kani also saying, what is this, what have you written, it's really not, then I'll say, no, just let's try. Then they will do it and they will make it their own, and then they will only say, it's working. So it was a very good learning for me. It was also the first time I was working so long with actors, so I also needed some support. And so that's why I think that it's all our film, because really they are also authors in that way.
Yeah. I think that collaboration was very evident at Cannes when we saw you. We just felt as if it was a girl gang that was celebrating. So, so all of us could relate with you. Not as filmmakers, obviously, but as the members of the college gang or the girl gang, or that that friendship and that collaborative effort was very visible.
Yeah.
So
and also with my writers, because they too were there throughout with me, and they will be like, it's not working. Robin is very strict like that, so everybody needs them in their lives.
Yeah. And tell us about the DOP also, because in most of your films, there's a lot of play with light that you do as we see it, I think they used to refer to, who painted the girl with the pearl earring? Vermeer as the man who paints with light, So I get reminded of that every time I see, some of those shots of yours. There's so much of, the beauty of light that you actually utilize. So just wanted to know about that. All the crew
members are there only. They should only answer the question. Like, actually, to tell you the truth, me and Ronobir are both obsessed with darkness. Because as the film also says, without darkness you can't see the light, and we like to shoot in a way that we take a lot of interest in also the darkness. I think the darkness is very liberating for a lot of us, and it's actually needed sometimes to have darkness. So we discussed a lot about the light, and we wanted to play with the different kinds of the feeling of light, because light makes us feel also differently. So I was thinking a lot about that monsoon light, which is like a kind of, for the filmmakers here, like a skimmer in the sky, which is what we put to diffuse light. And in the monsoon, it's like that, na? We have a diffusion. We never see the sharp sunlight. We always see it diffused. And we don't know exactly what time of day it is, because 12 o'clock will also look like 3 o'clock. And that diffusion causes that. So we wanted to work with that in the first half, because there is a kind of feeling about the characters being sort of stuck in a situation, and the monsoon light, I don't know, for us in some way worked with that. And there was the city lights, which I was thinking in terms of Anu, the character's gaze, because, you know, she is somebody who is enjoying the city. Like, she can go out, she can enjoy, she can be anonymous. So the city looks better, you know. I always feel this. Sometimes you are in a city, and if you're in a good mood, then it feels very good. You don't mind being stuck in traffic. You are in like nice mood, so everything feels better. You don't mind sitting in the bus even for a long time, because if you are with somebody whose company you are enjoying. Yeah. So like that, even the city, which is not that aesthetic or anything, feels better because she's in a good mood. So we wanted to work with light as if it was glowing, you know, like little glow worms in the sky. Wow. So he worked a lot on the halation and that feeling, basically like film. In film, when you use celluloid, there is automatic halation that happens. So we tried. No, we didn't have money for film, so we shot digital, and him, along with our very talented color grader, managed to create that feeling of light that has halation to give more
romantic feel to it.
And then in the second half, we wanted it to be like very harsh sunlight, like beating down almost. And only when the ladies are together, it feels nice. Yeah. Otherwise, you see that it's bleached out, and you know, it's got this harsh feeling, murky, as if it is kind of dirty. You know, sometimes when it's so hot, you do like this, and it feels grayish. So we had thought about all these things. How much it comes through, we have to see.
Definitely, you rocked. That's why we noticed it. So, you know, so much of thought and effort going into every little detail in filmmaking. I think that's what really makes you special. So, kudos to that.
You were mentioning about your city influences in some of the talks, like Wong Kar-wai, then Shandal Ackerman, like, you know, also Agnevarda. So all filmmakers, you know, have influence in one way or the other, like to make a film on the. I mean, as you're saying, the city has its own benefits in an unknown. It gives the anonymity. The anonymity gives you the power to break chains, you know, kind of. So, yeah.
I really
especially
love
from people coming from small towns and you know, women especially, and
you can be anonymous and there is something about cities. We love them, we hate them. They are complicated, full of contradictions. But you know, I think that I like city films. even amongst Ray's filmography, I like the Kolkata trilogy. For me, are my favorite films. Especially Pratidwandi is. I don't know if you all have seen this movie, but do watch it. It's a really great city film. So, and of course, Shandal Ackerman, who has made a movie called News from Home. It's a kind of a shortish film, and Agnes Varda's film Cleo from 5 to 7. It is a real-time film, so it happens over 2 hours from 5 to 7, and it's a city film. I think so many nice city films are there. Edward Yang, Taipei Story is a great film. All Tsai Ming Liang films. I think Tsai Ming Liang came, no? Once here? Yeah. You are lucky to be from here.
Talking about Ray's films, Payal, from Ray to Payal, there's
I
been...
think let's not make that comparison.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, from in that cinematic journey in India, there are very few directors or filmmakers whom the Western audience have accepted hands down, and you are definitely one of them. So, do you think there is a marked difference between our Indian audience and Western audience from the perspective of storytelling of an Indian filmmaker?
See, even our films don't do very well. You hear about it because you see it in the paper. It's not like it's going against Wicked and getting all the numbers. We are small there also, independent filmmakers, and here also. It's just that we hear about it from the West because it's the only thing that that is gone there or whatever like that. So I think Indian audiences are really open. People can watch all kinds of films. We have a long history of so many different, Kerala itself, such a huge body of work of so many filmmakers and so many different states. It's just that now more and more, because of the commercialization of cinema spaces, we don't have access to watch films. Earlier that was not the case. Like, I used to go and hang out for no reason at the film division to see what film is there, something like this.
Your film, because of all this fame abroad, you got a proper distributor.
Yes.
But that's not the case with most of the independent filmmakers, independent
Yes.
efforts. Generally in India and in everywhere, all part of the country.
And before we used to have, like Doordarshan used to show on Sunday, Saeed Mirza films. Now, where, we don't have that. I think this cinema also is government cinema, isn't it? So I think that, spaces like this, if they are showing independent movies, then people will be like, this is also part of our visual culture. Now it has become like a rare thing, but it's not actually, it is there, it's just nowhere to show them. So we need to grab back our spaces, because I know that people who come for film festivals are many. There are 13,000 delegates here to this festival. That means so many people are there to watch films only now. There are so many other states, so many other cities. We are there. People want to watch films. I was in Mami also. The line was huge. People are standing sweating outside in the monsoon. It was, and so there is a dedication for cinema. There is people who want to watch. We just have to have those spaces again, and I think that is really important, and to some extent it is the government's responsibility. And since you are here, I request that you have cinemas where our films can be shown, even restored classics. Like, I know that director Arvinda's film has also been recently restored. We should watch these movies restored in 4K. What pleasure.
It's a big crowd for that in the festivals, actually.
Yeah, so let's have a screening. 1 week, 2 weeks, it should run in the cinemas, no?
Yes, absolutely, well taken. And IFFK as a whole is a part of all the enthusiasm and commitment that we have towards filmmaking. Though I agree with you completely, just to add on to that, in today's era of social media, isn't dissemination and finding an audience for any art form, including film, much easier than what it was years ago? So, how do you utilize that?
That is the only way we have. I had to join Twitter. I didn't have Twitter. I joined because I was like, please come for my movie. But, okay, so let me give an example of what I learned a little bit about how it is done in some other countries which has support. For example, in France, which has a long history of supporting culture and cinema, what they do is that if there is an independent movie that doesn't have money for ads, like I don't have money to put an ad on a bus, for example, then they give a small grant from a body where that money can be spent on your publicity. So I had hoardings and all. I didn't have it anywhere else. Even you go to the PVR now to watch our movie, there was not even going to be a standee. But there we applied for this commission, and it doesn't come from public fund necessarily. How it comes is that if a big movie releases, like let's say Pushpa 2 releases, everybody is making profit. A small percentage tax is levied on that ticket sale of every movie released, and that goes into a fund. Even when my movie is released in France, that ticket tax is levied and put into the fund. Then other people can apply to the same fund for distribution. If we had committees that worked this out, it would be a self-sustaining system, and then all independent filmmakers would have the opportunity to apply for these things, to, you know, even for making movies. I think we should even include OTT sales in this, and not just Indian movies, international movies. They also come to India. They make a lot of money. They can give one small percentage.
Should we open?
So we we just talk about, you know, that FTA thing which we all talk about. The struggle, you know, you are part of the resistance which was while you were studying, not just in FTA, to be frank, like, you know, like many national public institutions like Central Universities, JNU and all that. And we also had an experience of, you know, films documenting those struggles, coming to documentary festival and getting, not getting censor exemption, and we are unable to show once. Really? Yeah, 1 year, three films withheld, and some of them went to the High Court. Oh. So they repeated again with Anand Padwardhan's film also being not granted permission. Then he also went to High Court, and I mean, it's going on. So all those struggles, once you got this validation within courts, validation. So do you think this is the right moment to, you know, say that, you know, the existence of these spaces are important? Yes. What do you feel when you?
Come on, film festivals are the place of discourse, and they cannot be democracy without discourse. So we must not have censorship. I mean, I don't think we should have it at all, but that's that's a longer discussion. Definitely not in spaces like film festivals.
Yeah.
Do you all agree?
So I think probably we should take some questions from the audience.
Congratulations, Payal. I think at this point there's like a marathon of nominations and awards that you're getting. Like every day on Twitter you're opening this new award that you're nominated for.
Some even I didn't know before that they existed.
Me neither.
I'm like, what is this?
But congratulations for that. The question is about the journey that your film has taken, and how you see the film as being perceived in the various countries you're going and showing it, because I mean, the one way we get to see it is through the posters, and I saw the French poster, which was strange because it looks like the two women are fighting against each other. The American poster has this very strange affect too. Yeah. So I'm sure it's catering to what the audience thinks about your film. Do you have a sense of how they are reacting to the film? Is it different, distinct in any ways?
So I made those posters, huh? Like I have a say in the poster making. They propose some ideas, and from the lot I chose this, and I tried to make it as much as I could wiggle my way into it. It's always a negotiation with distributors, but yeah, and it's not just like it's everywhere. Distribution is a whole different mindset, which I totally don't understand. I'm learning every day about how, and then I like for me also, I was thinking, how is this poster looking? It's weird. And then I went to the cinema, and there were 30 other posters. And this poster was standing out because it was such a bright blue color. There was nobody using that color because it's such that blue plastic color of the French poster. So first I was giving galis to the distributor, thinking, what is this? Well, they don't know anything. But then I went there and I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of interesting. Why not? So I think the poster thing, honestly, it's something I'm still learning. And with every film, I'm trying to see what is the market thing, what is it, how I see the film, what will the audience see in that poster. So it's really for me a new, this marketing stuff is very new. So I'm learning from that, like representing the film. And I've had many arguments with distributors about this because they were like, you don't know our market. And I'm like, I don't know, let's see how it goes. But yeah, I think like we've had quite a decent run in I mean, decent means for an independent movie with the amount of budget we had to distribute it. So it's like in America also it ran only in 2 cinemas in 2 cities for a while, and then that was gone, and then another 2 cities and 2 cinemas. In India, we started off with 150 cinemas, then it became 30 cinemas, now it's like 12 cinemas. So it's always a struggle to put the film out there. And I think what is one good thing that I really appreciate is that we got some good critics writing about the film. And I really appreciate that, because for us that is like a stamp that it's like kind of like marketing, but without us marketing, so that we don't have the money for marketing, but when people write about the film, it is sending it out, the pieces of it into the world, and maybe somebody will read it and go to the movies. So that has really helped me a lot, and I really appreciate that. He is a critic, just FYI.
Hi, Payal. This is
Hi.
a filmmaker from Bangalore.
Hi.
You're making us, as a nation, prouder day after day with many milestones and
Thank you.
awards and accolades. I have 3 questions.
3?
Not like very long answer.
3 in 1.
Okay. Why avial? Is it like any Malayali dish? Is
No,
avial?
it's all we imagine is life.
Yeah, I know. But did you plan it that way?
No.
That it should sound like that?
No, I have to say no.
just
And
to
actually, the Malayalam title is Prabhayai Ninachadallam.
Yeah.
Which is because Prabha is the name of the character, and Prabhayai Ninachadallam is like everything you thought of as light and everything that Prabha thought, which again, these guys.
Yeah. But it coincides with the name avial dish. So
yeah.
that's
It's also with the band.
Yeah, I know. So
There's one meme also going around about what avial is for everybody. I loved that. It was so good.
yeah. So there's there's nothing to talk about the cast and the crew and the departments, be it the cinematography, color grading, obviously your writing. But I found some uniqueness to the sound aspect of it. Sound in the sense, if some tune is playing at the background, you don't feel it's like a BGM or OST, BGM or something playing at the side. But it has some kind of uniqueness along with the narrative.
Kind of
so how
embedded.
did you do it?
Yeah, I like to work a lot with sound design, and sometimes even using like daily sounds as kind of musically. So in the film, the very prominent sounds in the first half, for example, are the sound of the train.
Yeah.
It is always there. It is because it is a thing of Mumbai. Wherever you go, you will see the train or hear the train. So I wanted to, and it's very important part of the city. So I wanted to have the train, even visually, you will see it somewhere or the other quite often in the film.
Yeah.
So that train sound, but the same train sound will sound different in some parts where it feels a bit musical. Like when the cooker comes, if you listen, the train is screeching on the rails, which has this very strange musical feeling. So we were trying to find this balance between, or even the waves in the second half, they have this like a rhythm, which has also been timed according to the dialogues. So it is details like this that our sound designer, we worked on with this to kind of make the real sounds also little musical or internal, like not like subjective.
It's not only with the sound, like suppose a tune is playing
So
along
that is
with
why
the
it
dialogue.
mixes together.
Yeah, you don't feel it's something separate, but it has some uniqueness, like as though it's in a different space altogether. So
So we wanted to do that. So that's the reality. The real sounds also become musical. So the musical sound feels very like part of that mix.
Yeah. So just today I watched a Palestinian film. So I also believe the censorship shouldn't be there in the film festivals, actually anywhere. So more power to you, and keep making us prouder.
Thank you.
I am from Uzbekistan. I came to watch Payal Kapadia's film. I am sorry, my English is not good. Just I want to ask, I know you are experimental filmmaker, independent. Do you know Soviet Union filmmaker Vladimir Minshov? He has film Moscow Doesn't Believe Tears.
Oh, no.
It's film's name. It's also, I think it's same. It's three women going to Moscow and getting some.
Oh, wow. Okay, I will check it out.
It's,
Thank you.
I think it's almost same. It's.
Wow.
I'm
I will
sorry.
definitely watch it. Thank you for the
Please,
recommendation.
just I want to ask some any influence or inspiration like this film and your.
I haven't seen it yet,
Please.
but I will definitely watch it. Thank you
Okay.
for this
Vladimir
lovely
Minshov,
recommendation.
Okay.
I will meet you afterwards and write it down. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am.
Where are you? Ah, there.
First of
Wearing
all,
black, can't see.
First of all, congratulations. I have already watched the film from Lulu.
From Lulu. Oh.
It was a beautiful experience.
Thank you.
And I came here to ask you whether the film was shot on film, but I already got the answer. So I have a different question.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I just watch films. I am nowhere related to film or academia or literature and all. So, but during college days, I took a subject which I really like. But even though I really like to work on that subject, the pressure from college was really, discouraging. And every time, even if I wanted to do something, if somebody instructs me to do that, I lose some, interest in that. And there is some, discussion going on whether academy is necessary in cinema or not. Like there are people against, film schools and all. And so how academia has helped you as a filmmaker? How academia has improved you as a filmmaker? Can I know that?
See, everybody has their own journey. I'm not saying that it's necessary to go to film school. You can be a filmmaker without that. It's about your temperament. Like sometimes I get interested in too many things. So to kind of be focused, it was good for me to go to FTI, but also I met really amazing people there. The students especially, I felt that I learned a lot being there, and for me it was a very important time, and that's just my experience. Everybody has different experiences. People don't have the time to do 3 years, 4 years of film school. That's fair. I mean, it's a privilege to do that. So I think that it is really depending on how you are thinking, if you're able to go and all these things. In fact, I think that film schools should be cheaper or almost free, so that people don't have to worry about this so much. In fact, we should have, I'm scared to say it, but more grants and things like that, and support to students. Like in this NSD, they give stipend. Filmmakers should also get little bit, even if it is small, no? We should have that, so that we don't have to, because I know in our country, you tell your parents you want to do film, they will be like, Satyanas. So if there is a support, like why are people still doing PhDs? Because there is still support for that. Like that for arts also there should be encouragement, support. Every state should have more than one film school. It's important.
Hello, ma'am. I am here.
Where are you?
Here on your left.
Oh, everybody is wearing black today.
All we imagine as light.
Yeah, I told
Your love
also
for
darkness so
darkness.
good. She's like, now you said it.
I am from Hyderabad, ma'am. So, firstly, Hyderabad is proud of you to get associated with you through Rana sir. So firstly, thank you for that. And the question I have is, ma'am, as a filmmaker, I'm actually more eager to know your association or your thoughts about how you view the audience, because I think you're one of the very few filmmakers have made such brilliant film, but also respect the audience. Like you just spoke about how we as audience deserve good films. So while you're writing your scripts, how is your thought process? Like, will you keep in mind the audience you're writing for, or is it more like, I like this scene, I like this shot, I like this sound, so no matter what, I'm keeping this in the film? So yeah, it is more about your writing process and your direction. Thank you.
Actually, I have a very fickle mind, low attention span. So I try to keep the film active and alive for myself also. But yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think that it is something that you will compromise, that it is conflicting with what you internally want to do. But of course, you have to think about the audience. Like, it's a very important part of this relationship. Then it will be very, like, why am I showing the film then, you know? So I think it's important. As long as you don't compromise a lot of your gaze and your politics and your things that you're talking about without kind of compromising that, if you are able to have something that you want more people to see, no? Last movie, not many people saw, so I started thinking more and more.
Good evening, ma'am, and thank you for being here. So my question is, your movie made some debate in our WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So for 2 or 3 days we are discussing why this name came, and we are translating it into something. Light means in Malayalam, we are translating in Malayalam ലഘുവായി നിനച്ചതെല്ലാം or പ്രകാശമായി ചിന്തിച്ചതെല്ലാം. In first one it is like light, which means not heavy, and second one it is like light, which is prakasham.
Yeah.
And another discussion was,
I am going for prakasham.
yeah, but we don't know that in Malayalam, so we are discussing for 2 or 3 days, like it is prakasham, it is not heavy, something like that.
Yes.
And they are giving some their explanation.
Oh.
And another thing was,
What was the explanation?
no, they are saying something.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not there. And that guy asked a long question. He was in our group. Now you can understand. Okay, and another one is, like, why you selected Prabha and not Prakasham? Like,
How her name will be Prakasham?
no, that we understood. We didn't watch that movie that time.
Oh, then how you will know?
No, that time. So we are simply making some assumptions.
Just
Okay,
the
okay,
title
fair,
picked
fair,
so
fair.
much of curiosity.
Okay, and you know, I had the same problem in France because they thought light was like light. So I was like, no, lumière, lumière. And then they understood.
Okay. And my question is, why you come up with that name? Specifically, why you come up with that name? In
I was
English,
thinking a lot about, like, in our culture, a lot of times we are expected to follow what there is, because that is the way. Like, we won't do film because it is in our way to do engineering and doctor, and you know, that is the way, or it is the way to be married at a certain age. It is the way. We say in Hindi we will say aisa hi hai, but my question is why. So for me, the Prabha is the possibility of something that you don't in a place where you are so conditioned to think that there is only one way. You can't imagine there is another way. It's not possible. So, but I think it's always possible. And that's only how change happens. That was what the light is.
Okay, actually, more than a question, it's going to be like a statement to you, because this is like a fangirl moment right here. But a fangirl who hasn't watched any of your movies, which are I'm just a big
Did you get a ticket for today?
Yes. I hope I managed to get in. Like, see, so many people are
Running
waiting.
in the cinema. Today is what day? No, but in Trivandrum it's there.
Yeah, the thing is, my friends would know. I've been trying to watch your film since so long. It hasn't really happened, but I'm hoping today is that day. Very sad, yes. What I wanted to tell you is, like I said, more than a question. I don't know if my facts are right. From what I had read through stories on Instagram and everything like that, is that you are one among the 4 Asian women who've been nominated for such great Western awards. And I understand we are not going to be... Yeah, first woman in Golden, right? So I know we don't need to be validated by those people, but the fact that, I'm shivering when I'm asking this, the fact that an Indian woman is holding a prestigious nomination like this, honestly gives somebody like me, who's an aspiring actor, maybe one day a director, I don't know, that it is possible. And I'm shivering. I just want to say thank you so much for keeping it going. And I bet you've had so many struggles, even though your mom is a painter and not a nepo. But like you said, you've been very privileged. But the fact that you continue to protest, or the fact that you say ki, when someone says aisa hi hai, you're like, Q. That resonates a lot, and I'm sure so many of us are going to make it there like you have done, and kudos to that.
I'm sure you will. Thank you so much.
So, can you please elaborate about the funding process, like as an independent filmmaker?
1 hour will take.
So, if you're allowed to say the budgets, like how does that
budgets,
work?
It will be weird to say, but it was not very big. It is like we applied a lot to different funding. If some of you are filmmakers who want to do this way, first thing first is to find a producer who will producer here and producer in a country that has money. So one good country is France, because they really feel their equality, and so you should apply for that. Once you get, how will you find the producer, now you will ask. So actually over there we have every film festival, every big film festival has a lab or a market which you can apply to. Cannes has one, it has 2 actually. It has the Atelier, and I think it has one market also. The Atelier has a prize of some cash also, and producers come there and listen to you about your project. Then you will meet people. So you have to apply for that. Then Berlin, Berlin Film Festival, it also has a talents. That's where I met my producer. So like that, every film festival, Locarno has one. Locarno has this kind of a student section and a lab, I think. So like that, if you go, IFFR has a very good one. If you go and check out every festival, you will find a market or a lab. You have to apply to that with your project. Better if you have an Indian producer, somebody who you get along with, somebody who has the same taste in films, and who wants to support you, not financially, but in every other way, that person, and you can apply to these different markets. There you will meet a producer from another country. France is a country that is favorable to us. Unfortunately, the Germans don't want to give us for some reason. But there are many funds in France. So once you get that producer, they will start applying for the funds for you. Because at the end of the day, how much can you do? Like as a director, you have to write the film, you have to do so many things. So it's not possible to, so you need somebody who is helping with that. You'll have to write the application. That's sorry. So that you cannot escape. But they will tell you like what is the kind of curation of that fund? What do you need to give? 4 pages, 5 pages? What all do they require? Then, so because you don't know now, you're sitting over here, there's some funds in some random country. So that way, you find that person, and then they will help you. You have to do many years of writing grants. It's very boring, but you have to do it. And then after that, we got the funding slowly, but we didn't get all of it together. So we had some for writing, some for research. Then I will apply for some for pre-production. so that I can spend some time in Ernakulam. We were doing casting there to find money to do that. Then to shoot the film, you get it in parts. Then there they also have a lot of TV channels that support you, like Arte. It's a very big TV channel that supports independent films and more art house films. We should also have. So like that, slowly, till the day you finish shooting, you're still applying. Because then you have to apply for post-production funding. So like that, you have to do it. But for me, I like this process because I am little bit nerdy. I like to go to, this process. I enjoy it. It's also a lot of rejection. So you have to be used to that. Like, that's why it's like you get 5 grants will say no, and then you will get 1. And then it goes on like that. But it's a process where you can write something in the grant and then you can make the film. You can read between the lines.
Okay, great. So, as your film treats the notion of time, we have also been completely oblivious of the fact that 80 minutes have whooshed past us, and the session was originally meant for 60 minutes. So, I'm afraid we'll have to call it a day today. And Payal, just the way you transgress the boundaries between fiction and non-fiction, I think your presence as a person amongst us has blurred the lines between a celebrated filmmaker and the common audience. We honestly feel you're just one amongst us, albeit a better version. But thank you so much for that endearing conversation. That's all that I can say. I would request Shaji to officially wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you, Payal, for formal thank you for agreeing. We were just pushing her and again to do this. Okay, not the entire story. Anyway, thanks to all of you who find time to attend this. Normally we don't find this much. That's a fact. This much crowd in for these sessions. Though we had this very important persons. So Payal, you are a person. Yeah, not VIP
very
and
important
we. Yeah. And Hui, I meant and Hui.
See, we are friends, so I can joke, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, all of you, and Payal. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am.